Okay, so we up to I see the English here is not does not correspond to the Hebrew. But up to here, Shama Abal Vishto. So I might as well just get rid of the English.
Right.
It's confusing.
Yeah. Talking about Aaron Cohen.
Shama Abal Vishto right here. Shama Abal Vishto. Sha'asu Meriva. You've heard about a husband and wife in a fight. Went to the husband. Varmalo, he says to him, now he changed the Chaim to Shenizgaresa im Ishtacha. Chenim Nora Samar Asis Imam Meriva. You made a fight with your wife. In other words, Nisratzeis would mean you made a peace, right? Nizgares means you made a fight with her. So he said to her, if you divorce her, Safek Timsa Kamosa, Safek Lo Timsa. It's not clear you're going to find anybody similar to her. Imatamotse, if you find one, Mamtenes Ima. The interesting way Rabbi Chaim explains that. She's going to always have in mind that you picked the fight with your first wife. And I guess that's going to have a negative impact on your Shalom Bayis with your second wife. So therefore, if you start up with her, she's going to say, oh, it's just like you did to your first wife. Says Rabbi Chaim said, just saying which she's not happy about. That's what he did to the first one. Clearly, in this case, interesting. In the previous case, right, between the two friends, so you go to each one and say, I heard, your other friend wants to make up with you, etc. But here he just goes to the husband. Obviously, the husband was at fault, and
but it's the decision for divorce is in the husband's hands.
Right, that's true. Right? That's true. Yeah, good point. Famous medrash. Therefore, men and women both loved him. Maxi Bay. What does it say about Moshe Rabbeinu? Only the men. Even the women. Not just with women mourning for Aaron. They put evidently they put their children into some sort of mourning attire with dirt, with the mud and dirt. Kaim Mashnemar Ko, all so including the children. Tana Shmonim El Bachurim Korim B'Shem Aaron Yotzor Chematasa. 80,000 boys who were called named Aaron were participated in the Levaya. Chaim point says here, not sure where he gets this from. It says, Abishnima Bahora Hor Yatsu Koso Lusapto. Even though it's better than Hora Hor, I'm not sure what he's trying to be Mechadish here.
No, because it says Zachrei Misaso. It's Keilu, he went on a whole funeral procession and was buried in front of everybody, but it was just Moshe, Aaron, and Elazar went up to the mountain.
Okay, so I'll take that. Why? Merachmante. They loved him. The time says time of my bishum shuyovim also. Man the hader is abra. There's the time mishachazari le'abalo. But this abra when they made up a fight and she gave birth, she got pregnant, gave birth, no al shmo. So she called her child by his name. Well, that means that there are 80,000 fights in the Midbar, which is a lot high. Sounds like a high percentage of 600,000.
Well, right? It doesn't mean that all of them were because of fights, but obviously he was well admired that everybody had named their kids after him.
Yes. Tanan Hassam, Hillel Omer, having me Talmidov Shalaron, from the students of Aaron. Oyev Shalom, Rodev Shalom, Oyev Sabrios, Umekar Molatera. The Bishlam Oyev Shalom, Kid the Karmina. Okay, we understand, but we just learned that. Oyev Shalom, sorry. Oyev Shalom, Kid the Karmina. El Rodev Shalom, Hechi Dami. So let's see. But Chaim says, Bishlam Oyev Shalom, Kid the Karmina, Kamel Shia Mashi Shalom, and Ishli Ishto Ben Ram Chavera. Fine, that's Oyev Shalom. So I guess Rodev Shalom must be something else. So, Kedetania, Bakesh Shalom Barod Feu. He says here, no, he doesn't say, he doesn't explain. I don't think he's going to give an explanation. I guess, I think that Oyev Shalom means just that you love making peace, but you don't necessarily run for opportunities to do it. In other words, Aaron didn't just wait around till they came for counseling. He went out to actively seek situations to rectify. Not sure that's what it means here, but it doesn't explain it here. Can I tell you about Kesh Shalom Barod Feu? Umayshna, what's the difference, I guess? All mitzvahs, a person only required to do if they come to his hand. You'll see it says, if you come across the ox of your enemy, you see the donkey of your enemy, if you see a nest of a bird, you build a house. Okay, so let's see what he says here in the Bior Mashmaishna Bala Faresh, go to Hashem Yosef Komitz. Shalom is great in the world. It's a sign of our Maishna Shalom become mitzvah Komitz in the Mechule. You see, Kitivka Shor Ibechol Chamor to Rabbi was shaped to Shivena Low. In Pagata Bishoro, if you meet up with this ox under a load, return, or I guess lost ox. We're not required to pursue his lost object to return it. So crouching underneath the load. The Goma Azot Azovimo, help him out. Make a market. In Basel Yodo Kaiba, she lo bayis yasemake. About Shalom, become a com. That become a com, yeah. She aim merivin bimkomo, Rafael Makamacher. Okay, you can't. If there's no, they're not fighting by you. Find somewhere else where they're fighting. You go make peace there. Okay, okay. So now we'll continue along these lines. Tana, Shalom, Nas Nitan B'Shin Ayin Vav Osios. That's the Gemashi of Shalom is Shin Ayin Vav. 376. B'Shin Ayin Vav Osios. So he's learning that Shin Ayin Vav is Rosh of Shava, right? Of crying out. Says the Rabbi Chaim, Nasa Shah B'Shava. Osios here Shalom B'Gamacha Shin Ayin Vav. B'Shuba Osios Lashon Tefillah B'Shavahu. Mlamed Shekol Rodev Shalom Ein Tefillah Socha Zeh Rekam. If you pursue peace, then your tefillah is also heard. This is a midah k'neged midah. If you make peace between you and other people, there's peace between you and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ela me'ata dichsiv Esav. Esav also gematria is 376, right? So hachi nami the shalom hu. Is Esav our paragon of peace, right? So Hasam Nami, yeah, there too. Amar ma b'shach shiksiv b'shmo shalom. If Esav has intrinsic in his name peace, Kumari Shamadinos, he still causes tremendous tumult in the countries. That's going to live on the sword. How much more so would there be a problem? Would he be a problem? What about, I guess it's a puzzle in gracious moment. Hey, assume milchama. See, Asa milchama. No, assume milchama. Assume milchama is made war about the 4 kings versus the 5 kings. That's what it's referring to. Or whoever it was. My husam nami mashka ma kishakasum minyan shalom. It's a kachlik shulach rivas olam. Ulhazikas Avram, he wanted to destroy the world and damage Avram. Imeno kasum al achas kama the kama. Elamiyat tzib asher osuas adavar haraz. I think it's by the eagle. My husam. He's my husam. I don't think it's by the eagle. My husam nami came to call him Yotze Shalom. They call him elu hargim elu. So we're talking about the death penalty and how it is a deterrent. Okay, let's see that in Rabbi Chaim. Elamiati, Basa and Malakuk mi Gamatria. You want to do Gamatria to feed Esav Benoshi Yitzchak. Achinami Shalomu, do Esav be Gamatria Shalomu. Ye Shalom Esav Roshaya. And we see, Mirati, see, Basum Chama, Yagabe Arba Malachim. Basum Chamas Chamisha, Pashas Bayer, I think it is. Lechacha. To see Be Asum Chama. Asum be Gamatria Shalomu, Basum Chama Avoy. It's a war. Is that big Avram? Avram it's only Lachayim or Laziko Kedamar Lahalon. Next next tomorrow will be about that war. I shall sue the Barazeh. We'll show Hula Avodah Zara. Still Sibu Parsha Shreifti. So it's about Yerni Dachas. No, not Yerni Dachas. Stamina over Avodah Zara. Parsha Shreifti. And Basa my Shalomika. What piece is there? So this is obviously he says that yes, when the wickedness is done. You have to be stoned, not either looking at this. You talk about a zara, but eventually society will break down unless you have that impose that penalty. Okay, the next one is a new thing. We can stop here. You like, or go on a bit if you want.
We can go on for a bit.
Okay, Tana, we learned Arba Malach Malol. So these 4 kings, Dar Omer, and those kings who are with him. They didn't care about the king of stone, the king of Amorah. They came to get Abraham Avinu. They waged war in a place called Ein Mishpat. Zavram, that refers to Avram Shu Eino Shel Olam, the eye of the world. He Kadesh, right? I guess it's a development like Hikadesh. Who she's Kash Shem Shemaim? He's the one who made Kiddush Hashem. Eloshavus Lot. So capturing Lot was a ruse. No, it wasn't a ruse. It was a mistake. Shu Kasvurim Shu Avram. Because it says Lot, you look like Avram Avinu. You see, Vishma Avram Kinishbach Achiv. Lot Emar Ben Achiv. Interesting because it says his brother, not the son of his brother. So from this we infer that they made a mistaken identity. Says Chaim Zavram, Ein Mishpat Tzib Zavram Shuei No Shalom. Shu Kazish Avram Shayod Lo Tomel Kaster Panim Shavram. Lomar Ben Achiv Ari Lo Ben Achiv Shavram. Hayot El Tzib Achiv Shayod Domelo. Look like brothers. Okay. Tana Elu Shayu Im Avram. The people who have Avram Avinu's side, in other words, the 5 kings, they were bigger Rishoy. Shmosem Asayodea. And you need to know from their names. Kinish Mosem. Bera, Bira, Birsha. Bera, Bera. He was a bad person. Birsha, Berisha. He was a wicked person. Shin of Sonei Avi, he ate his father in heaven. Shem Aver, some Aver, he was He would use his limbs to against the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Bela Bolea. He would swallow up people. Okay, so let's see, Rabbi Chaim. They see, say, they're worse than that. I can't see him, Avram. Avram had to, I guess he had to say that. Because really, my enemy's enemy is my friend, right? They're out to get Avram Avinu, so these are his allies. So saying to Yodea, Mitoshimo saying to Yodea, go to Rishon. From the names, Bera Melstone, can you Shmo Bera Hashem Shebira so you must Samraim. Yosha Melcha Marashel may be Risha. Resha. This is Sana Aviv, Shem Shemaim. Some Aver, Uf, believe Road Baviv Shemaim. Again, the same idea. Okay, so this is that's the end of that Gemara. This is a new issue. Iboilu, Ma'alitin Shom Lo Vekachov. Allowed to give peace to an idolater. Tashma Shalim Shlamam, Mafil B'Yom Edom. You can inquire after the peace even on one of their pagan holidays. In Dark Shalom, because of Dark Shalom. Hachanami, my boilach. Right? The Pshita. So obviously you can say Shalom to them. Laktimi boilu. My question is whether to say Shalom first, to initiate the transaction. If they say Shalom to you, you certainly can respond. Give me your maiden. What about the Makdim Shalom? Tana Tova Makdim Lo Mea Meshiglo. It's best to give than to respond. Let's see why. Says Rabbi Chaim. So we learned it's Gafka Shalom, which is the issue. Not greeting. We say, how you doing or good morning. That's okay. Specifically Shalom, which is the issue. We say, Meitil Shem Shemaim Alakum. So in the name of heaven, on idolater. The Pshita Shem Shalom. Obviously you can respond. Sharei Mishnah Shleimahi. That's a explicit Mishnah. Alakdim Shalom Boiler. Question is whether to initiate. A person said, Reuben says Shimon Shalom, and Shimon says Shalom Shalom. Right? It's a derech that the person responds. I think it's still true today to a certain extent. One person says Shalom, the other person says Shalom Shalom. So he says, I guess because he's reciprocating and he has to double the piece, right? So the Enkofim Shalom Akum. Okay, one Shalom he can give him, but two Shaloms that over the top. Interesting. Assuming you never heard something like that. Say Shalom first, so you don't have to say a double Shalom. Iboilu, back to the Gemara. Rotseach, Noed, cover creases, bad sinners, murderers, adulterers, people who violate creases. What about that? So Malitain Shalom. Last to me boy. To respond is not a question. Since he said Shalom to you, you have to respond. What about giving him peace? Tashma, Derech Shalom Yado. The way of peace they have not known. There's no peace in their pathways. So he was saying, they hardened their roads. So Derech Ba, any highway within it, Lo Yedah Shalom. So the point is Shmamina. So the one wants to say, no, Enechanami. You're not Makdim Shalom to a Baal Abeira, to a wicked person. So to an Ovi Avodah Zarah, you can be Makdim Shalom. Should be Makdim Shalom. But to a person who is a known Russia, no. Actually, Kafir. Says Rabbi Chaim, came to Mahadalach, that's obvious. Elitin lo mai, lakdim lo mai. V'chagara mi'akum. It's worse than the idolater. Dharma tov lakdim lo shivlo. The pasha trust lakdim. By the idolater, it says, say for Shalom first, it says, it's us to say Shalom first. Okay, the Gemara asks another question of the same kind.
Toshma.
I'm just trying to find a place on the screen. Only Marega. People are about to be killed. If they gave you something, you respond to that. It's
I
only
don't know.
B'tzroa.
Whoa. I think you answered Derech Shalom Lo Yadu Ve'em Mishpat
Yeah, I
Mevim.
read that passage. Yeah.
Okay,
It
sorry.
says you're not making shalom because it says lo yedar shalom.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. Only Riga, even though so clearly the idea is that you're not making shalom even though they're on their way to their death. You respond. Nitzolim b'zroa lo. So interesting. What's nitzolim b'zroa? It says how can they, if there's a person who really should be put to death, but he's so violent that he's managed to avoid it, you're not even maxing shalom to it, right? So he said, so there's Shir Dunam Nation Malimim, aim of Sirland. Don't reciprocate. Wow. Ulagdim Benkachos. And to initiate, evidently these people, regardless of whether they're actually put to death or they're avoiding because they're violent, you're not makdim shalom. Noef v'chavero, no same ben Reuben. If you have an adulterer and I guess his friend, it says here in the Rabbi Chaim, Noef hanitzo b'zroa. In other words, he's a person who's so violent we can't judge him, right? So the Amran emachzir. You say don't respond. He's going with other people, right? So in that case, no saying Ben Reuben, if the noiv is among several people, Maxim shall cover Reuben. You can respond because of the honor of the other people there. Yes, some people say, I'm ischaber l'noiv k'noiv. No, or the Rosh Hashanah. They don't even know if you don't respond to either of them. The Idach, and the other opinion, the first opinion, they can't respond, holds Tima Baal Korchayu Bo, Lasso Shalom Mirveya. And I think it's Tima Baal Korchayu Bo, period. Let's see. And the, no, that's also one. Dima Baal Korchayu, period. That's a period goes. Okay, it says Chaim. They were all saying Shalom together. Masses should cover Reuben. Because of the cover of the masses. Masses should cover Reuben. Masses Shalom. They cover Reuben. Shake. Assuming that that's question. Yeshua mischabel noiv k'noiv. Yilchach apilu chaveirov. Lechzer Shalom. Kemish mischabrim l'noiv. Yidach. The other opinion is man damar. The Machzir we should cover them. Ruby Amar Chadim Al Korchai. Let's say Mema Noiv Shalom. Maybe the Noiv made peace with them, forced the peace with them. In other words, they didn't want to be his acquaintances, but they were afraid of him. And therefore, they became his acquaintances, and therefore, you can respond Shalom to them. Okay, so that now he reads it again. I was wrong yet. The last time. He reads this, Dilma Baal Korchayu Bola So Shalom Im Rivein. No. That was my first time. Dilma Baal Korchayu. Next question. Next one is Bola So Shalom Im Rivein. If the wicked people come to make Shalom, Ein Mekabel B'Leiv Shalom. Yeah, let's see what's the Chaim. They want to make peace, but without tshuva. We've gone through an argument. You can make a technical peace with these people if they're wicked, but you can't do a belief shalom because they're still wicked people. So I guess you can be pragmatic, but you can't be their best buddy.
Right.
Close your dover. About Yom Kippur. Then it comes to be asked Yom Kippur. Kosher, Jeremy says, Kola Mabel or Kosher B'tshuva. Anybody who remains in that state and doesn't do tshuva, also Lisa B'litei can't have anything to do with it. Let's just go a couple lines further. Hegedai B'leiv Sholem. What is B'leiv Sholem? Damar Nishbak V'Nishrei Lach. You say, I guess you say to him, let's leave this fight behind, and let's make friends with each other. That's what the wicked person says. What?
That is Lev Shalom.
Yeah, but
Shalom.
So that's the okay. Shalom is Lev Shalom. So Lev Shalom is I say, let's leave the few behind, and we'll I'm Michael to you. Shalom Lev Shalom is Rachman and Ishbak Madavatu. Because Baruch Hu should be say it will be Michael. I'm not. Because Baruch Hu should be Michael. You Chaim. Nishbak v'nishalach na'azov hatiroimes shebenenu machula. Let's leave that fight and whatever. But the implication is not I don't.
Right.
Okay. The Noah and another guy gave you peace. My Yeshua Loti Boila. According to Yeshua before, it's not a question. Yeshua says that he can't respond. If you're moving Lav Sharu, it's not even for the masses. I guess it's literally him and one other guy. So for the most mass, wasn't Matir, certainly not for one guy. But Tanakama might. We're going to Tanakama, who says, to the Reuben, we can respond. What about if it's just two? I'm a Rava by Kusha. Is this a question? Oy Meliyachi. You can respond even to one person. Kika Ba'inan, our question is the Atu Trey Chad. Pavachin Achrayu, below Marklum. Harmony Maximum. Okay, I don't know what that means. Let's see, Rabbi Chaim. Let's leave that for the masses. My echo is only one guy's question. My the they don't give back Shalom to one. Is that a question? Ubi Shlama Ba Benam Reuben came Shumanem and Yochel Achzir Shalom Kolech Bifnei Atzmo. I understand where a lot of people came and he can't give Shalom back to each one. Wrote to Kulam Shalom Kach wants to say generic Shalom. Kudami Boilam Maush Achzir Shalom. That's the question. Can you give back peace? Abu the Echad Yachzir Kosher Bilbat. Okay, so that's he says go back and says hi Kushya. I'm Eliyachi. The two people just as far as the person. I mean, I think it's kind of obvious what you're doing. I'm not sure I agree that that's so simple. But Rava, I'll do it simple. Give back peace to the guy who's with him. The question is the Asu Trey Gosin, Trey V'chad Gosin. The Gemara says the Asu Trey Chad. This he says the Asu Trey V'chad Gosin. Shlosh Nine Ksherim V'chad Noed. 2 and 1. V'achrina Achrayu. No made him no standing further back. That's when the Noif didn't say anything. My, what do we say? Me name a we shouldn't give back these so that can be shmaktim shalom. Noif. Because it seems like it's being maktim shalom to the Noif because the Noif wasn't originally with the group, right? So therefore, if he's shalom now to them, looks like he's being maktim shalom to the Noif. Right? Because the Noib is staggered behind. Oh, Dilma, they say, came Shom Yachrem, Eno Machzir El Elohem. The Shari, it's permitted. But push it to Machzir. So the one hand says, yeah, you can't give back. can't be maktim shalom to the two, even though it looks like you're being maktim to the one. It's a question in general. Can be maktim to this group of three? The lo avi kamaktim Elohem lo neiv shomer achrem. It's only being maktim those two, and not to the noiv who's staggered behind them. Who pushes the maksir of a lo maktim. Says no, you can't be maktim. You can only be maksir. Okay, so that says he can make the trey v'chad b'achrina b'adayu, and the achrina b'adayu is the noiv. Lo maklum, the noiv didn't say anything. So Amarle Maksir Lam, he said, you can't be maktim to them, but you can be maksir to them. I like the second shot better. Okay, we'll stop here.
Okay, shkach.
Okay, have a good week. Hashem, this Sunday should be okay.
All right, Sunday, Mitzvah.
Okay,
Take care. Bye.